Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Effortless. I'm your host today, Piddle. With me is Spigel.
Whatever.
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel right now. Except, I don't know, we do have a lot to talk about today. Could get pretty exciting soon.
You know, I kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed, total transparency here, and I'm just really hoping that this episode turns my day around. Because it's not going well for me today.
It will.
And unfortunately, I have a lot of stuff to complain about, so I don't know, maybe that'll make me in a better mood.
Nah. You just need to talk about a whole lot of nothing. Get things off the chest.
Well, we came to the right place for that.
And talk about things you love. Which were...
You know what I love?
What?
When I go to Subway before work yesterday, and it's 8 o'clock, and, I clock in at 8:30, so I'm just trying to get a quick breakfast in. Breakfast sub, delicious. And I go over there, and it's right across the street from my work. So I walk over, and I look inside, and there's nobody in there. There's no workers. There's no anything. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I notice the open sign isn't on, and they're closed. And then I look at their hours, and they say they're supposed to open at 6 o'clock in the morning. So where is everybody? They just shut down for the day?
Very nice.
Stupid franchises. They just do whatever they want. They don't follow their own rules. I hate franchise businesses. All right, the end.
The end.
Thank you for listening to Effortless.
Similar story for me that occurred last night. I went to Taco Bell for the first time in a while, and I was very excited for it. But I sort of went to get out of the house, and I wanted to sit down at Taco Bell and just whatever, take my time, enjoy the meal, and Taco Bell's wonderful interiors.
Oh, of course, it's just like a real Mexican pueblo in there.
Yep, completely authentic Mexican. So I get out and go up to the door and try to open it, and it's like, what? It's closed. Like, the door's locked. Why is it locked? It's 7 o'clock at night. Everybody knows that Taco Bell's not closed at 7 o'clock at night. I mean, they're open until like 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, or later. I don't know. And then I noticed there's a sign on the door, and it says, due to being understaffed, the lobby will not be open. And I was like, What? Yeah.
What? Okay, if I could do that at my work, that would just be fantastic. Due to being understaffed, we will not be selling any copies of Black Ops 3 today. We appreciate your understanding. That would go over so well. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So anyway, I'm getting tired of these franchise places that think they can do whatever they want. It drives me nuts. It's like, just because you're owned by a private owner, you can just like decide whether you want to be open or whether you can just close the lobby because you feel like it. Like, doesn't any of this make it back to corporate? Does corporate even care about this stuff? Does anybody care about anything anymore?
Nah.
All right, I'm already feeling better.
See, that's all you need.
What else do we have today? What else do we have today?
A little more complaining. Oh man, we have a lot. Like my quest for mobile glory.
Oh boy, here we go. Piddle is playing mobile games, and he is angry about them.
I have to be. So again, if you're just joining us, my quest for mobile glory is I don't like mobile games. I'm trying to find a mobile game out there that is going to offer a deep, cohesive experience, all for the price of free. And you know what? This might be an impossible task. Maybe these parameters are just plain unfair to mobile games.
They are.
But you know what? Too bad.
But that's okay.
I'm sorry. Like, this is why I don't like mobile games, because I'm looking for, if something actually gives me a deep experience and keeps it, like whether it's just advertisements or fair microtransactions that don't really get in the way of the experience or are just like pushed at every corner, then hey, like that might exist out there, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with ads in games.
And I'm sure you will give it credit if it's fair.
Yeah. So
we're just waiting for that moment.
This last week, I've put a little bit of time into Jetpack Joyride, which is one of the biggest games out there, I believe, one of the better reviewed mobile games out there. And pretty much it's an endless runner. You have a jetpack on your back, as sort of the name implies, and you tap the screen to either use the jetpack to fly upwards, or you release your finger from the screen and you'll fall down. So you're pretty much avoiding obstacles the entire time. You can collect coins as you go along. The coins are obviously used to buy upgrades in the game, to buy new vehicles. So there are other vehicles besides just the jetpack, or power-ups, so on and so forth. And I mean, what do you think my opinion of this game is?
I'll be honest with you. It sounds like any number of generic endless runner type games, so I don't really understand why it's so popular. What makes it so great, according to these reviews? I haven't read any.
I don't know, because like you said, it's like any other generic endless runner. I mean, it's really just Flappy Bird in a different kind of style, because now you're on a jetpack and you're still avoiding obstacles, except unlike Flappy Bird, I guess, you can upgrade or get, if you die, you can spend coins or money or whatever and
Flappy Bird also costs
continue
$1,
to play.
I think.
I mean, it even goes so far as to have the good old slot machine to see if, hey, you won, you get to continue to play after you died. So it just, I don't know, it didn't do much of anything for me. I even have a perfect opportunity to play games like this. I've got about, sometimes I have to wait at work before I can leave, and I have nothing to do, so I just pull out my phone and do whatever on my phone. So I had,
instead of bringing your 3DS or your Vita, which are real handheld machines, you choose to play on your phone. What's wrong with you?
Because
I can't
trying
even
to
do
find
this
a
show with
good
you anymore.
I'm trying to find a good mobile game here.
Yeah, but did you do that before?
Before
you started your quest for mobile glory?
No, not really.
Oh,
I never really brought my mobile games to those. I mean, my mobile games are usually if I'm going to be stuck somewhere for a longer period of time, or if I'm just like chilling in bed, I'll play a mobile game for a little, or not a mobile game, a portable game for a little bit. So like, let's say I need to go get an oil change, or actually need to like wait at a mechanic. That's an example of a time that I would pull out one of my portable systems and play for a little bit, because I don't know how long I'll be there waiting.
All right, well,
but
good.
Again, it really just didn't offer much. The coins and upgrading new vehicles did not compel me to continue to play.
So would you say that sorry, go ahead.
Because it really just, I mean, it comes down to just reacting in time to coming obstacles. Eventually you're not going to be able to react quick enough, and you're going to die, and you're going to spend your coins on whatever nonsense you want, upgrades you want, and then you're going to do it again. And I don't know, just tapping a screen with my finger is not the kind of depth
it's not stimulating
that I want.
enough, right?
I mean, it is. It really got to the point where, like, I played it for 5. I felt like one of those kids I see that goes from one game to the next, to the next, to the next, from like 1 minute at a time. They spend 1 minute with this game. Okay, I'm sick of this. I go to the next game for a minute. I'm sick of this. I go to the next game. That's what I felt like.
Well, it's because you can only play those games for about a minute without having to do a stupid microtransaction to keep playing. So that's why they do it.
Yeah. Or just getting bored with it. And that's exactly what happened. You get bored with it so quickly that's like done. It's like, okay, hey, collect some coins, and now I'm bored. Now I'm done. And it got to the point where it's like, very quickly I just decided I'm done with this mobile game. I'm going to, I'd rather do other things on my phone. I'd rather like surf the internet, read articles, anything other than just tap a screen and collect some coins for a little bit.
So I also had an experience with mobile gaming this week, if you don't mind me
oh
going
my goodness.
Next. So it's not mobile gaming per se. It is a mobile game. It's a free-to-play game on Nintendo 3DS. It's called Pokemon Picross. And this Pokemon Picross, if you've never played Picross before, by the way, Picross is awesome. Like, nobody knows about this, but it's one of the greatest like puzzle-type games that you can play on a Nintendo system. I think it's better than Tetris. I have way more fun with Picross. You can get Mario Picross on 3DS eShop.
Yeah, it's
Picross DS is like 99 cents at like any retailer that you can buy used DS games from. And then they're also releasing Picross 3D 2 in Japan, or they released it already. And I think it's coming to the United States.
It's a fun little logic puzzle game.
Yeah, it's just a logic puzzle. But Pokemon Picross, as a free-to-play mobile game, quote-unquote, on 3DS, is not quite the same experience. It's still Picross, and Picross is great, but it throws all these other elements into the mix. Like, in order to move forward and to keep doing puzzles, you need to earn pick rights by doing missions with the Pokemon that you capture in this game. And it's kind of hard to explain, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But just understand that it's Picross with microtransactions, and it's 100% worse. I'd so much rather play another Picross game than this one. And if they had released an actual, like, buy this Pokemon Picross game, I bet it would have sold a lot. Because it's Pokemon, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much money they're making for these microtransactions, but I am not getting suckered in. I don't care if I can only play for about a minute every day, and that's it. Like, I cannot go any farther into the game without buying something. I just don't want to. So screw you, Nintendo. I'm not buying in. I'm not going to do it. And I'm very upset that they chose to go this route. But it is what it is. And I've never played any of their other, like, free to play, like the Badge Arcade or Rusty's Real Deal Baseball. Like, I never played those, but I hear they're pretty much the same.
The Badge Arcade seems like it's pretty upfront about what you're going to come across, though.
Oh, well, I mean, so is Pokemon Picross. It's like you have to spend money because, like, we don't make any money off this unless you do.
Yeah.
And you're playing it. So, I mean, I get it, but I just so much rather that you just released a game that I had to buy. You know, I don't want to do microtransactions. Just let me buy the game. Like, why that isn't an option just mystifies me.
So, speaking of microtransactions, recently Bungie made an announcement, and it's in regards to their big first-person shooter title right now, Destiny, which has become very massive and has apparently gotten better as time has gone on. Didn't have a very pleasant initial release and went through quite a few development troubles with the story. But
a lot of people say they like it now, so
yeah,
whatever.
It sounds like it's
I'm not
a lot
interested
better
in
now.
It, but
and it's just like something to do with your friends every night. But they announced that there's sort of a booster pack that they're going to release so that you can quickly level up your character to, or one of your character classes to level 25, I believe it is, all for the low price of $30.
In my day, booster packs came with 11 cards, one guaranteed holographic. That's all I have to say about this.
So
the end.
That's it.
This is
Just
effortless.
$30. I just have to wonder how long until AAA games are just free to play and these companies just only go after the whales.
So I didn't want to talk about this, but you mentioned I didn't know what this microtransaction included. I was just like, microtransactions. I don't want to talk about them anymore. But since you mentioned they could automatically level up to level 25 with buying something, I just like to take a moment to say, how cheap is that? That is so annoying. Like, oh, you don't want to work to get your reward? Well, here, you can just buy it. Or you can buy the season pass for WWE 2K16 and just, like, have every wrestler just unlocked. You don't have to do any of the challenges. You just have all the wrestlers. I think that's so cheap and lame, and I hate it.
It is. It stinks. I understand it for some people who just don't have the time
or the attention span. Yeah, I get it,
to
but
do
I hate
that.
it.
Like, if you're older and you have disposable income and you just, like, you want to enjoy the game with your friends, but you don't have as much time as them, or you already leveled up one character to maximum level and now you just want to quickly try a different kind of class in a game like that, I can understand, like, wanting to very quickly get to that level. But this is sort of the whole what the whole issue with microtransactions boils down to. It is these companies putting the desires of a very small percentage of gamers ahead of the majority of gamers. And it's sort of turning off the majority of gamers because they're just like, I don't want this. And that's what you're getting right now. And I think it's just going to continue to get worse, except for with companies that are either private, I guess I'd say, like private companies, privately owned companies, or companies with executives that are actually willing to sort of take a stand and say, you know what, no, we're not going to do it like everybody else. So I don't know.
I'm just worried that's going away. I really, like, even like with Nintendo falling victim to the microtransaction thing. I mean, it's not like their microtransactions are criminal or anything. Like, they're,
yeah.
But but they're doing it too, and it's just like I
With
just want to
Amiibos,
see
yeah.
a company not do it for once, and that would be refreshing to me. Anyway,
I think the one thing that I'm mostly okay with is the direction that Valve has sort of taken, with cosmetics being microtransaction based, and just like having enough cosmetics to sort of like keep the base gamers like satisfied, but and giving them an option to sort of earn things on their own, but making it a lot easier for people with money to get those cosmetic upgrades. Doesn't affect the gameplay at all. It's not pay to win. It's not pay to play more. It's just, hey, you know what? Like, you want to look cool in this digital realm? Well, okay, cough up a little bit of money. So I think that's enough for microtransactions today. We talk about it more than enough.
way more than enough. We spent like 5 minutes on that. That was like 4 minutes and 45 seconds more than I wanted to spend on that. But
Yep.
oh well.
Real quick,
that's what it is.
Splatoon and Super Mario Maker did have updates. Speaking of how Nintendo handles things, and or upcoming updates.
They're free.
Yes, completely
awesome.
free. Splatoon. I mean, Splatoon has been out for a while now.
So wait, hold on a second. So you got your gamepad this week. We need to talk about this.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even mention that.
I can't believe that's not even on the effort list. Okay, everything else is off the schedule. We're doing this. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Piddle got his gamepad back.
You got your gamepad. Piddle got the gamepad. And what was the first game you played? Let's get quick hits of each game that you played.
Quick hits.
Yeah, just do like 30 seconds impressions on the games.
First thing I played, I believe, was Splatoon, right?
Yeah, we played together.
Yeah, very first thing I played was Splatoon. It was awesome. It was really enjoyable. I liked it more than I thought I would, and I also hate it more than I thought I would. Because it is, I am generally well above average when it comes to shooter games, and I suck at Splatoon, and it's very, very frustrating. I don't know how to handle it.
You'll get it.
And I think it's going to be a very difficult game for me to get the hang of, because I sort of go into tunnel vision mode a lot of the time when I play games.
Can't do that.
And that doesn't work with Splatoon. Like, it doesn't help.
That's why I have the gyro controls on, because you can look around you all the time. I've been trying to tell you this. Have you turned gyro back on yet?
I have kept it on. I'm just so bad at multitasking.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a very difficult time with it.
So that was Splatoon. What were some of the other ones?
I tried out Super Mario Maker, and I've already made a level. Maybe I'll even
put it in the
give you
description.
the ID so that we can put it in the description and you guys can try it out. I tried to sort of. It's a level that appeals to my tastes and when it comes to difficulty level. So that is much harder than the average gamer. So if you're like the average gamer and struggle even beating a Mario game, I would
not recommend it.
I don't know if I'd recommend. I mean, you can try it out, but you might not beat it. And
so I've tried it, and I didn't think it was unfair. I just thought it was. Well, I actually did kind of think it was unfair. I thought it was unfair to expect the player to be perfect for like 8 straight jumps.
Yeah, and that's why I went back and sort of updated it.
Yeah, so your update I think was very good, and we'll talk about that off air. But anyway, and do you want to complain about like the don't move levels in Mario Maker, or do you want to just like move on? Because we could go forever on those.
You know what? I'll save it for my full review. But okay. I've experienced almost everything that the game has offered, and next week it's very likely that I'll have a review for that incoming.
Okay.
Everything else, I don't know. I barely dipped into Xenoblade. I don't think I'm ready to get into a game like that just yet.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for it. If you're still like fiddling around with all the other games, you can't do Xenoblade. Like Xenoblade is like a last resort type thing, but when you're in it, you're in it. And I might talk a little bit about it this week. I haven't had much time to play it because Chris has been here ruining my life and everything. So
I just have too many games. It was almost like Christmas to get my gamepad in the mail. Got very excited about it.
Christmas is coming up, so
all right. So moving forward, I have some other news I wanted to talk. Oh well, with the Splatoon and Super Mario Maker updates, I mean, these games that I'm just playing and it's still coming out with content, which is great for me that I'm playing these and Nintendo hasn't already abandoned them and the user base hasn't already abandoned these games. Super Mario Maker is adding like 3 new features for free. One of them's like a baby Bowser, what is it, like flame shooting thing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't keep up with it. I go on. I'm like, oh look, there's new costumes.
Oh, they're adding like bumpers to it that you can bounce off of. Oh, and one of the exciting things for me was that they're adding the P switch, or P switch doors. So like you have to jump on a P switch and then a door will open up. I think that's awesome. I think that's much needed. Probably not as needed as slopes, but I don't think we're ever going to see slopes in.
It would be too difficult with the game's physics, I think.
Yeah,
like they can't like update the physics in an update, can they? I don't even know.
They probably could, but I think it's asking.
That's
too
a lot
much.
of effort for little payoff. Like, what does Nintendo get out of releasing these things? Nothing.
If there's a new Mario Maker that comes out, maybe it'll have. I think it'll probably have it actually, but not in this one. And Splatoon is adding 2 new maps, I believe. And
yes, it's amazing. They're still adding new content.
I know.
We're now 7 months in, and we're going to go 8 months in, and they say they're going to stop, supporting it for free after January. I mean, I got to give them credit. That's a long time to support a game completely for free. And that's crazy.
They also added a new introductory level for new players.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Splatoon?
I only know this because I started the game just recently, and then my girlfriend tried it out, and when she tried it out, I was like, wait a second, I didn't do this. She had this little introductory level for explaining the controls that went much more in depth than what I remember. So,
that's funny.
So yeah, it was sort of cool, and I think they're adding some new single player features to it as well. So, really cool that Nintendo's continue to update these games for free. New maps too. That's awesome. So kudos to Nintendo.
You gotta give them credit. Everyone who's complaining about them charging so much for Smash Brothers characters, it's like, well, just pretend you're paying a little extra for Splatoon maps or something. Like, because there's no doubt they overcharge, right, for Cloud and the map and everything. It's like what, $7 for both the 3DS and the Wii U.
Yeah, it is.
That's a lot of money. At this point, I've probably spent more on Smash DLC than I did on the game.
I think they do it just because not everybody is gonna pick up Cloud, and they still have to put a fair amount of time into him. It's sort of sad that they're wrapping up with Smash 4 development, but considering what they've added, I think it's like 48 characters if I recall correctly. That's nuts.
It's 58 officially.
Or 58? Oh,
yeah.
So completely
if you watch the Smash Direct, or if you watched our reaction to it on this very channel, at the very end of the video, it's like, we've added 58 characters and 7 billion maps and 150 trillion songs and like all this stuff, and it's like, wow, they really did. And it kind of came across as a little bit braggy, but I was like, well, you guys kind of earned it. You got $150 of my money, but it was worth it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna cut you off there because we have a few more things to talk about.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
One is Hideo Kojima officially left Konami, and
Woo!
Thank goodness he's out of there.
Good for you.
He was debating taking a year off, it sounds like, and a friend convinced him that he just needed to continue to make games, do what he's good at. And thank you, whatever friend that was. Some people are speculating that it was Del Toro. And he started a new development studio called Kojima Productions, and they are gonna release their first game exclusively or console exclusive for the PlayStation 4. So it sounds like they're definitely gonna release it for PC users as well.
Well, because they're working with Sony now exclusively, which is, I'm disappointed. As much as I want my consoles to have exclusives, I'm always sad to get an exclusivity deal, an exclusive deal with a company that has a console that I don't own.
Get a PC and then you get to pretty much play everything.
PC scumbag.
Yeah, just do it. It
costs bottom line,
$400 to make a PC that plays pretty much anything now.
So bottom line, Konami sucks. Kojima is a cool guy. It sucks that it kind of had to end the way it did for him with Konami, but it is what it is. So
a quick rundown of what sort of happened is in April. I think it was April 1st. They said he was no longer going to be on the executive board. Then it pretty much came out that he was fired. the playable teaser for Silent Hills got removed from the PlayStation Store. They canceled that game. And then his Twitter feed went completely silent for a little while. In September, when Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, the game was really good, but you could tell it hits this point where the game went from in production and being made to just, okay, we're done. We're just going to stop right here. It would be like playing, for example, like if you played the Wind Waker and you remember how there's that point where they just give you the pearl. It would be like if the Wind Waker came out and instead of just giving you the pearl, it was just like, here's the pearl, here's the Triforce, and here's the final battle with Ganondorf. Oh, okay, you're done. Go home.
Which is funny because that's exactly what happened with Wind Wakers. They cut that dungeon to like save time and resources, but like it was if they cut even more, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's like they cut like all the rest of it out except for like the final battle with Ganondorf. It would just be cut everything and just stop. The game just stops there and it's done. And you're just like, wait, what? That's it? So, I mean, that happened. And, you know, Konami's still making a ton of money off of it. This whole time that this is occurring, Konami's saying, he's still working with us. He's on vacation. Don't worry. Yeah, he's still working with us.
It's unbelievable. Like,
and everybody's just like, yeah.
It's like, what, are you living under a rock? Like, do you think we're living under a rock is basically... Like, it made me hate Konami because it's like, what, Konami, do you think I'm stupid?
Exactly.
Like, I know what's going on. It's not like we see this all the time in any given industry. Like, if a company is disciplining somebody, they will like take every measure necessary to do so. They'll be like, okay, you're banned from Twitter for this amount of time. Like, okay, you're no longer on our board. You're no longer making executive decisions. You know, we are canceling this project because you were over budget or whatever. And I'm not saying Kojima's like absolutely not in the wrong here. He does make over budget games. Like,
yeah, I'm
all the
assuming
time.
what happened is that they probably had like some sort of investors meeting, and Kojima said, "You know what? I need more time,
or more money, or both."
Yeah, I need more time or more money or both. And this game isn't even going to come out this year. And yeah, the board probably just said, "You know what? That's it. Like, we're putting our foot down." I can totally see that happening. And the board saying, "You're done."
So it's not that Konami was wrong. It's just the way they handled it was really poor.
Yes.
Like, because if I'm a company, I'm totally okay with disciplining a great employee for doing something that was not in the benefit of the company, like taking more money to work on a game that was, you know, already close to completion or whatever. So I can see where Konami's coming from, but the way they handled it with the gaming community was just so bad that they made themselves look like the bad guys, even if they weren't even necessarily the bad guys.
It might take a while for us to get the full story too, because I mean, we do know that
it's Japan.
Yeah, we do know that the whole situation at Konami, it sounds like the work conditions were just terrible too. Kojima, like the most he said about it, and the most he probably will ever say about the whole thing, is just that he said he's very comfortable like working with Sony, and that he feels like that's something he really needs right now. And that's all we're gonna get out of him, because he's like contractually obligated. He can't say anything more about why he split with Konami.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah,
let's move on.
It's amazing to me. They removed his name from the box, and they wouldn't even let him accept the
Game Award.
Yeah, Game Award. Yeah. So it's good for him to be gone and out of that kind of toxic environment that he was definitely in.
Yeah, and now Konami can focus on what's really important, like making pachinko machines.
It still blows my mind that they're actually going to try to make a new Metal Gear Solid. I feel really bad for the poor sucker who takes on that job, because you're just not going to win.
Yeah. All right.
So Metal Gear Solid 5 did really well. You want to know what didn't do well this year?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider and Halo 5. And sort of Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
And Star Wars Battlefront is also trending below like what the company expect. They said they wanted to sell 13 million by March, I think. I think that's overshot it a little bit. I don't think it's going to do that well.
It's doing well enough, isn't it?
It's doing fairly well, like, but it's already been cut in price. Like, it's on sale at major retailers, like $20 off. So that's a sign that they're trying to get more movement. Like, they didn't plan to drop the price by $20 just a month after release. I guarantee you that.
So when I say that these games did or have not done well, here's just all you need to know.
It's relative.
Yeah, Halo 5, which I mean, the Halo series has been known for just destroying the charts. Correct?
Right.
According to NPD, it was only 8th in November sales, and it came out in early November. So,
do you have the number? Came out in late October, but do you have the number for the month?
I don't have the number for the month, but yeah,
okay.
It came out 8th or number 8. Assassin's Creed Syndicate was 9th, and Rise of the Tomb Raider was not even in the top 10. So it was in the top 20, I believe I heard, but was not even in the top 10. So it just
Halo 5. Okay, so this is the number that you wanted. In the first month, basically to the 5th of December, has sold 2.4 million units worldwide. That is an incredibly low number for the Halo series. Like, this is supposed to be their major like AAA title, exclusive for Xbox One. It sold 2.4, and I mean that's concerning, right? I mean, this was once a like 10 million selling franchise with Halo 3 and Halo 4, right?
It is. Yeah, they have sold like close to 10 million, I believe, if not more.
12 million Halo 3, 9.5 million Halo 4. So I mean, they're not going to hit that number. They're not going to hit that number.
And I don't think
even close.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate is going to do well either. And I think this is a great message to these developers that Halo 5, it's a great experience. I mean, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I've said it was pretty much about as good of an experience and new Halo game as it could be. The issue is it's getting a little long in the tooth. It still had story issues. But the biggest issue, I think, is just how Microsoft handled the Master Chief Collection last year pissed off a lot of gamers.
Yeah, they voted with their wallet.
Yeah, and
that's,
same with
that's
Assassin's
exactly
Creed
what we
Syndicate.
were hoping would happen.
With Assassin's Creed Unity last year, it was horrible. It was horribly optimized.
Even though Syndicate actually might have been a good game, I have not played it. Disclaimer: it might have been a good game, and people said it was a good game, but nobody bought it.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a much better game than last year's. But
so good for you guys for voting with your wallets, basically, and that's all I have to say about it.
But it makes me sad that Rise of the Tomb Raider sort of got sent out to die against Fallout 4.
Not fair. It was not unfitting. If that had been released a month earlier, it would have sold. It was an incredibly bad decision to release it. I don't know what they were thinking, honestly. Like, come on.
I mean, they already had Halo 5 coming out. There were already enough big releases. I feel like they really needed to push it back into early 2016. Maybe that wasn't an option considering the console exclusivity deal, and maybe that would have just narrowed the window that it would have been on sale. But releasing it next to these other heavy hitters that you knew were going to be absolutely massive was just a mistake. You needed to send it out during a gaming lull.
They needed to do what they did with Dying Light this year. Dying Light sold way more copies than it deserved to because it was the only game that came out in January this year. Like, the only one. Dying Light, sales numbers to date, I have 1.85 million. Are you kidding me? Dying Light? You mean to tell me Rise of the Tomb Raider wouldn't have at least done 1 million if it had been released next month? I don't think so. So, I think it was a mistake. I think they should have pushed it back. I don't think the exclusivity thing was a big deal, or would have been a big deal, if they just delayed it by 2 months. I mean, come on, Microsoft. You can make a better financial decision than that. You're a smart company, but apparently not smart enough.
I actually think that the game will do very well on PC when it comes out. But man, I just feel bad for the developers of the game because the first Tomb Raider reboot did really well, and this one was an improvement in a lot of ways. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I didn't think it was improved as much as it could have been, but it was still a darn fun game, and it's worth playing if you have an Xbox One. It just, bad
it's
release
sad.
time.
So let's move on again. We still have a lot of stuff to cover.
Yes, we do. Well,
Luckily I only beat one thing this week.
Yes, I only beat one thing as well. So go ahead.
You want to do
Go ahead,
52,
Spiegel.
52?
Tell us
All right.
what game you beat this week.
So first of all, I beat 2 games this week, and one of them was a game called I said one, but I beat 2. One of them was Fast Racing Neo. It's a Wii U exclusive. I'm not going to talk about it because you have to go read my review over on brashgames.co.uk. They sent me that game for free, and they're like, review this. So I reviewed it. It's a really, really good F-Zero clone. But make no mistake, it is an F-Zero clone. So if you don't like F-Zero, and you don't like the difficulty of F-Zero, oh my god, the difficulty. It is a hard game. So yeah, that's Fast Racing
So
Neo.
definitely sounds like F-Zero type.
Go check out my review. Just Google search Fast Racing Neo Brash Games, and you'll find my review of it.
And I'll talk real quick about Fast Racing Neo. Just some of the things that the developers have done with it. Shinen is a pretty small time develer, and
But make no mistake, this is a beautiful game running on Wii U.
they've done
right?
some great things though. Like they released Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2. They did the Wii version of it, and the Wii version actually got better reviews than the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 versions of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2, even though those are the main platforms.
That's rare for a multi-plat.
And the
that
other
went to
thing
Wii.
is this developer managed to do that in a short 6-month time frame. They released this superior version on an inferior console. So I mean, they are a talented developer, but they mostly do budget kind of games. So that's one thing. One of the cool things, and I told you about this, is Fast Racing Neo is, I believe, the first game on the Wii U to use a lighting method called physically based rendering. And it's more about physically based rendering. For those who don't know, is it more accurately depicts what light actually does and how light actually reacts with objects in the real world. And this is something that, like, it just has not been done on the Wii U. It's happening a lot on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One and modern PC games.
But for the games that are on Wii U, it's not really something that's necessary. But in this game, it really works.
Yes, and I think it's amazing that they were able to do that and get this game to be running at 60 frames per second. I believe it runs at 60 frames per second, even with 2 players. It only drops down to 30 frames if you have 4
The frame
players.
rate is not incredibly consistent. It's mostly consistent. There's a couple drops, but especially in multiplayer. In single player, I didn't really experience any drops.
Yeah.
And it's also running on the gamepad at the same time. I don't think you can turn that off. So it's running at 60 frames per second on both the gamepad and the TV, and it still looks that good.
Just an amazing feat. So it's only $15 too.
It's worth it, dude. You can
If
play
you liked
online.
F-Zero, try it out.
Yo, yeah, absolutely. If you're dying for an F-Zero, just get this. You'll be fine. You'll love it. I guarantee you will love it if you love F-Zero.
Another thing, well, my 52 of 52. I'll go with mine,
Yeah,
and then
go.
we'll let you finish up. So the game that I beat this week was an oldie that got ported to the PC, and that is Grandia 2, the Anniversary Edition. So Grandia 2 is a Dreamcast game originally. Then it was ported to PlayStation 2. It did have a PC version in early 2000s, and it's a game that I remembered really loving. It was actually in my top 10 for quite a long time before I sort of pushed it out. And so it was a great opportunity for me to try to play it again and see if it was as good as I remembered. And one of the things that I remembered being great about it was essentially the battle system. And going back to it now, that still holds true. The Grandia 2 battle system, or Grandia, I don't know how most people pronounce it, is unlike any other turn-based or semi-turn-based RPG battle system out there. You have a gauge that fills up, sort of like Final Fantasy, but then it hits a point where after your gauge fills up most of the way, you get to choose your action. And then there's a period of time from when you pick your action to when your character actually performs the action. So the game deals with position, where your character is positioned on the level. It deals with how fast your character can run. When you upgrade your skills, you can cast those skills, like whether it's a special move or whether it's a magic move. You cast those skills faster or slower depending on how far it's upgraded.
RPGs always sound so complicated, don't they? Like, I don't
Yeah.
even understand what you're saying right now, but I feel like if I had played it, I'd be like, oh, I get it.
And well, one of the simple things I'll say is you can see your enemies that you're fighting. You can see their gauges fill up too, and how far, or how long until they're going to act and perform their moves. And you can even see what kind of move that they'll perform. So you can say, uh-oh, if I'm going to get hit with that move, it's going to do a ton of damage. It's going to totally mess me up. And one of the great things about the game is you have certain moves in it that will cancel your enemy's moves and
That sounds like
their bar
a
to
very
sort of reset.
sounds like a very similar concept to something that they did in Xenoblade Chronicles, the first game, which you haven't played yet. But
No.
At points in that game, when you're playing as Shulk, you get this like vision of what's going to happen in the future, and you can like go warn your team, and they'll like prepare for it. So that it sounds like the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, it just, what that does is it really makes every action that you take during every battle pertinent towards your success and like your survival and like in a complete dungeon. Even little scrub battles in RPGs where like a normal turn-based RPG, you'd fight one of those scrub enemies and all you do is you'd cast some magic or use some move that is going to attack every enemy on the screen and kill them like in a turn or two. And you know exactly what you're going to do every time. But with this, it's like if you just do simple attacks for every battle, you're going to take too much damage. You have to plan out every move, and that's just something that I have not really seen in an RPG since.
I'll be honest with you, that sounds exhausting, and that does not sound like the type of RPG I would like to play, because it's not that it's too complicated or that, but it's just that like sometimes you just have to zone out and just grind, and if you're grinding in a game like that, I don't think I could take it for more than an hour if you have to really
You
plan
don't really
every
have
move.
to grind though. That's one of the nice things about it. I mean, you just explore the areas. If you don't explore, it's just going to make the levels or the fights harder and more challenging. But like even then, if you do grind in this game a little bit, fights will be easier, but you're still going to need to spend a little bit of time to plan out your moves, because it's just easy to take too much damage if you're not planning your moves. And I'll say like the battle system, perfect. I feel like it's completely perfect. The rest of the game, the world, the characters, the way it's all presented, just didn't do anything for me this time. Like I'm going in towns and like talking to people, and nobody has anything interesting to say. So I hit this point early in the game where it's just like, okay, I'm just not going to talk to anybody in the world because they don't really have much that I want to listen to. So that sort of brings it down a bit. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Still a great game. Still, it's a game that I feel like everybody has to play or try, just because of the battle system and how engaging it is.
Sounds good. You want me to do my last
Yeah,
one?
go
and then,
ahead.
Go on from there. All right, so this is an interesting thing because I'm gonna do something a little special after I talk about this game. But I played The Walking Dead Season 2 on Vita. A couple weeks ago, I played The Walking Dead, the first season, on Vita. And I loved that game. I loved the first season. I loved the choices it made you make. They were so challenging. It never felt like you were... Even when you made a decision, it never felt like you made the right decision. You're always like left wishing you had made the other decision.
Yeah.
Which I think is very good for replayability, obviously.
That is good.
But The Walking Dead Season 2, it took all that and it just like multiplied it by infinity, because this is probably the most intense game I think I've ever played in terms of how it all plays out. You're playing... I'm not going to spoil anything from Season 1 if you haven't played it yet, but you're playing as the girl, Clementine. Spoiler, she does not die in the first game, so whatever. So you play as her. Certain events take place and you're all alone for a little while, and it's just like everything that happens, it just gets worse and worse and worse for this poor girl. It's
I can't
just like
imagine things being good for a little girl in
you're 11 years old, right?
post-apocalyptic world.
And you're running around and you get separated from the person you're with, and you find this dog and you play fetch with him because he seems friendly, and then you get in a fight with him over a can of
this
beans,
game sounds
and then
like real life.
he bites you, and then you go and you find these people and they lock you in this shed, and you're like, I need stitches for this dog bite or I'm gonna die. So you sneak into their house and you get the stuff to stitch your arm up, and you do it yourself.
All right, that's enough.
The game painstakingly forces you to do the stitching on her arm, and every time you press the button, she screams in agony. It's this is horrible, and it just it keeps getting worse. She keeps meeting these people and they keep dying, and it's just geez, could this possibly it's crazy. Every time something happens, you're like, okay, good, this is the worst it's gonna get. No, it keeps getting worse, and it's unbelievable the way this game tells you this super captivating story with all these memorable characters. Everybody's memorable. It's a must-play experience, and that is why I have decided to add The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 together to the official Effortless bucket list. And we haven't done this in a while, but I'm adding it to the bucket list. They must be played. It is a wonder of storytelling, how well they do this.
I love it.
Yeah. So don't play it on Vita. That's my only. They're gonna make my top 50. I'm going to buy them and I'm gonna play them on something else, so that I can get the actual experience. Vita, it's a little too watered down. It doesn't run very well, but it's still absolutely worth playing on whatever console.
Isn't it a shame how performance issues can?
I know, because the game should be a 5, no question, but I had to bring it down to a 4 because it just didn't run particularly well. There were key moments in cutscenes that jittered because the console couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to see the full action, which sucked. But I love the Walking Dead games. They are spectacular. Can't wait for Season 3. It's not a cliffhanger ending, which is nice. I mean, it kind of is, but not really. Not any more than the first game, so.
Okay.
So, yeah. Can you tell I'm fired up? No, I want to keep talking about this.
Give it a score.
Well, like I said, I was going to give it a 5, but I can't on Vita. I give it a 4, but anything else, I guarantee you would be a 5. So,
all right.
Play it. Play both of them.
All right, we are... I'd like to say winding down, but we have more to talk about.
Well, we are kind of winding down, though. We just have one more thing.
Our top 50 games, we are down to our top 3. How nuts is that?
I'm hyperventilating. I'm so excited.
So, go ahead, Spiegel. Give us your third best game of all time.
Well, hold on. So, it's not the third best game of all time. It's my third favorite game of all time. There is a big difference, as you know.
I said your third best game of all time.
Although this is the third best game of all time, and it's Resident Evil 4. And I have nothing to say about this game because we've already talked about it at length in one of those episodes from a couple months ago. We both played it this year. We both recognize how excellent of a game it is. Just to reiterate, if you didn't hear it, it is one of the finest action survival horror third-person shooter experiences that exists. I prefer it on GameCube. Some people like it better on Wii. Some people like it better on PS2. But you can't go wrong playing it on any platform. The game is gorgeous. It's 10 years old. It's a masterpiece. It's just perfect in every way.
It really is. And actually, looking at my list, I believe I've forgotten to put it on my list of beaten games.
Really?
Yes.
I'll have to check on that.
So I'll have to fix that. Because, that was such a good game to play through again. I was really surprised at how well it held up for me personally. And how the sort of tank controls, as people refer to them, really added so much to the game that wouldn't have been there had you been a little bit more agile as you played the game. And I think the tank controls are pretty realistic too, in terms of you can't move and run and shoot at the same time. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way.
Have you ever tried running and shooting like a pistol at a specific spot? That doesn't happen.
It doesn't work.
Come on, let's be real here, people. These are real.
This isn't the movies. You are not Walker, Texas Ranger, and you can't do a roll on the ground, avoid machine gun fire, and then pick off a couple people with your pistol. Doesn't work that way.
All right.
Your
number 3.
My number 3. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go a little bit more in detail with this, but I'll try to keep it brief. Mine is very unorthodox. It is Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness. This is why we call it Quest for Mobile Glory,
I
because
hate you.
I love Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory 4, Shadows of Darkness is the pinnacle of that series for me. That point-and-click series that sort of occurred in the early 90s. And I already talked about the first Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory 4 is very similar to the first. You have 3 different character classes you can take because it's sort of like an RPG-esque kind of adventure. You can either be a fighter, you can be a mage, or you can be a thief. And they all have different properties, they all have different skills, and the games in this series always have a variety of answers to the puzzles that they present to you in these games. And that's what I really loved about them, is that like they have so much replayability because, okay, I can play through the fighter or as a fighter. The next time through I can play through as a mage, and it's a completely different experience. And then I can play through as the thief, and once again, it's a completely different experience because you have to solve all the puzzles differently. You're just like, okay, I know how this would work with this class, but that's not going to work with this class. And it just, one of the things I love about Quest for Glory 4 so much is the atmosphere that it has. It was the first game to use voice acting. John Rhys Davies, if you don't know who he is in Lord of the Rings, he plays the dwarf. I forget the dwarf's name.
I don't know. You expect me to be up on pop culture? I didn't even see Star Wars.
I don't know. Gimli? Is it Gimli? I think it is. He does some like amazing narration work for the game. There's the game sort of takes place in a Transylvania kind of setting, so you've got all sorts of mythical creatures like vampires to deal with. You have these wraiths to deal with in the middle of the night. You have these awesome little vampire bunnies that'll attack you. I love it. Vampire bunnies.
Does it play off the Monty Python and the Holy Grail thing at all, or is that just sort of a coincidence?
It might. I don't think it does. I'm not the biggest Monty Python and the Holy Grail fan, so
wow,
don't judge me.
I don't think we can be friends now.
I've seen it. I haven't like watched it a ton, so I don't. And I've watched it in sort of like piecemeal, so
fair enough.
I haven't really put the full movie together. And yeah, the game just oozes atmosphere because it takes place in like the fall, so it sort of has that Halloween kind of vibe to it all the time. It deals with this really, really dark cult that worshipped this demon that's going to come back is supposedly going to come back. It deals with past themes from the previous games. One of the awesome things about the later Quest for Glories from the first one is you can import your previous saves and choose a new character class called the Paladin. And the Paladin has even more quests and more quests to participate in. I don't know. It's just such a great game. I can't really describe it. Please, if you're curious at all, try it out. The whole series is pretty much available for a very fair price on goodoldgames.com or GOG.com.
Or JJ Games.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
No,
Don't
not JJ
patronize
Games.
them.
Not JJ Games. Because, I mean, it's a DOS game. It's a DOS computer game. Any modern computer can run it. That's all you need to know.
All right. Whoa, unless I choke first, I'll do my number 2. And this is going to be some build-up, because as soon as I reveal my number 2, you're going to know what my number 1 is, because there's pretty much only two games that you know, if you know me, would go in number 2 and number 1. And this is my last chance to make a change here, so I'm kind of still thinking.
Uh-oh.
Which one do I want to put at number 1? Because now I can still change it, right?
No.
Because I haven't revealed it?
Nope, you can't.
Oh, I can't? Okay.
Nope. Not
all right.
yet. You
So
have
at
to
the time,
change it for the next time you do your top 50.
I probably will.
Be a top
I probably
100.
will just to. This is so fluid. My number 1 and number 2 consistently, like the only thing that's more consistent than it's cold in winter is my number 1 and number 2 are always flip-flopping. And that is because Metroid Prime, which is my number 2, is one of the greatest games ever made. and it is just it is the it is a game that leaves me completely speechless and unable to say anything meaningful about
It's
it.
so good. So good. Talk
It
about
is.
it. Talk about the lore. Talk about the world. Talk about
I don't feel like I need to.
the
I feel like it just
immersiveness.
it speaks for itself. It is it's probably the most immersive game I have in my collection. Every time I play it, I just sit there and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like how, how the Chozo like created their own society, and they have all these kind of poetic sayings about the great poison and how they view themselves as part of the universe and all this cool stuff. I just really like the way the game presents itself as being this small little chunk of history. When you play it, it's like you're going back into the past and seeing what this ancient civilization used to be like, while at the same time fighting for your own survival and also trying to complete this mission that the Galactic Federation has given you, which is go to this planet and figure out what the hell is going on. And the whole series ties together incredibly well. The Metroid Prime trilogy is one of the greatest, like, storytelling without storytelling, if you know what I mean.
And it's all available
games
for $20 on the Wii U eShop. So go get it.
You have no excuse if you haven't played Metroid Prime. Like, you could say, oh, I'm not into first-person shooters. It's not a first-person shooter. And I used to be, like, adamant, this is a first-person shooter. You walk around and you shoot things. But then I became smart, and I realized it was so much more than that. It's really just... It's an adventure game that's disguised as a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
Basically, it's in first person, but you're honestly doing a lot more jumping and like puzzle solving, and it's almost like a collectathon platformer if you try to get everything. So, but it's a brilliantly designed game. It's gorgeous. It still holds up today. I'd say it's still the best-looking game on GameCube, right next to Resident Evil 4. So yeah, that's it. I got 3 GameCube games in my top 5. You've heard them all. Pikmin 2, Resident Evil 4, Metroid Prime.
Mm-hmm. It's a game that the first time I played it, I didn't even realize how much was really there to it.
I think every time you play it, you get a little bit more out of it.
The second time, I remember like the second time I played it, just right away in the first part of the game where you're on the ship. I forget what it was called. And man, it just means I need to go back and play it again. And like I'm noticing, like I'm scanning all these enemies, and Samus is sort of describing how all these space pirates died, and like just going like, what the heck was going on this research station? So
and it's crazy to put that all together. Like as you play through the game, if you're really thinking deep into it, you start connecting the dots yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, so you almost become.
Is.
Yeah, you almost become Samus at that point. You are literally experiencing the exact things she is experiencing, just without all the pain, which must be nice.
Yep. Anything else?
No, it's amazing.
All right. Here we go. Number 2.
Can you believe this countdown is almost over? Next week, man, we're finishing this.
Amazing. About time.
All right, you go ahead.
So my number 2 game of all time is... And this has been getting closer and closer between my number 1 and number 2, just like you. But for now, it remains Skies of Arcadia for the Dreamcast or the GameCube. And I'm going to say it again. My top 10 has been a lot about exploration and characters and like world building and discovery. My previous game, Quest for Glory 4, I didn't even really mention that, but that game too has those elements, like world building with the lore it had and great characters and so on. Skies of Arcadia, same thing. Like, it is just a simple story that follows all sorts of cliches and tropes and so on, with like mysterious girl and, oh, we got to collect these crystals to save the world, and there's this great thing that's going to come destroy everything. And it's just more how the whole game is presented and the characters that it has just having so much life and vivaciousness to them. And it all starts with like the main character who's just like, hey, I'm this Sky Pirate, because yeah, that's one of the great things I love about Skies of Arcadia is it's like a sailing game, but through the air instead, and all the islands are just floating islands, and your ship flies through the air. And he's just like, I wonder what's beyond the sunset. I'm going to go find out. I'm going to take this mysterious girl that we found out who's on this mysterious mission that I know nothing about along for the ride, and my childhood friend, and we're just going
to be clear, is this a JRPG or what kind of game is this?
Yeah, it is a JRPG.
Okay.
And it has
because you've now managed to captivate my interest in this little discussion right here more than any other time you've talked to me about Skies of Arcadia. So now I'm interested.
And it has these great moments, I feel like, where where you find out like your crew has been kidnapped and you need to go against impossible odds and save them, and your character's just like, you know what? I don't care if it's impossible. What's one of his quotes like? Impossible is just a word people use to feel good about themselves when they quit. And he just has that kind of lovely attitude, and there's this whole like friendship vibe amongst the main characters that keeps you going with the game. Not to mention the sense of discovery, because as you're flying in your in your pirate ship through these skies, you can find areas where your compass will spin around, and if you like press the A button on those areas, you'll make little discoveries, and the discoveries you can then sell at these little sailors guilds. And it's nice because the game has like sort of checkpoints in the game where you're competing with this other explorer in the world and trying to find discoveries before him, and eventually you'll even meet that explorer. And yeah, just you'll find new lands, you'll explore new places, you'll find all these discoveries, which are all very interesting. And the thing about these discoveries that I really like is it sort of the discoveries tell a story of a bygone age of exploration and sailing that used to exist in the world, and so for whatever reason it disappeared, and you find out why it disappeared the more you play it. So great game. The biggest complaints about it were that it had just like too many random battles, and the battle system was too simple, I guess you could say, too straightforward.
I'll tell you what my biggest complaint is about the game.
What?
It's too expensive. I want to play it, but it's like $50 on Amazon. Are you kidding me? I can't afford that now.
It is expensive whether you get it on Dreamcast or GameCube. I keep hoping for a HD remake. I've actually bought this.
You'll be lucky.
I've bought this game I think 4 or 5 times, because I bought it for the Dreamcast, and then I bought it for the GameCube like 3 times because I like lost a copy. I loaned out a copy and I never got it back, and like I bought it again. So now I'm just like, you know what?
Can you loan out a copy to me? I guarantee I'll give it back.
Nobody's ever borrowing this game from me again, because I mean, this is my number 2 game of all time, and yeah, it's just great adventure, great characters. That's all there really is to say.
So yeah, I feel like if you know us, like if you've listened to the show long enough, you kind of know what our number 1s are going to be, each of us. I know his, he knows mine. But I don't know. Tune in next week anyway to find out what it is. It's going to be kind of anticlimactic, but
plenty of people don't know. They'll find out.
Nobody even listens to this show anyway, so you're right, nobody knows.
Yeah. But I will say, like, again, common theme of my top 10 takes place with my number 1. Exploration, characters, story. That's all you got to know. All right.
What now?
We have nothing left unless you have some more food to talk about. You know what? I feel like
this show doesn't have enough
food. More people need to listen to us so that we can start doing advertisements for Taco Bell and Subway and
well, I'm not advertising for that Subway. I'm never going back there again. Every time I go there, they're like trying to talk to me about the deals that I have going on at my store, and then then they're closed sometimes, and it's like, okay, I'm not giving them my business anymore, which sucks because I love that Subway. They have good food. They make my sandwich better than any other Subway.
You say this, we all know that you're going to be back at that Subway
tomorrow morning. I'll probably go to Subway today,
getting your delicious egg white and cheese and sausage on flatbread.
We should do a commercial
Chipotle
for Subway
or something. I don't know.
So like you listen to Mike and Mike on ESPN Radio in the morning, right? When you're doing your
yes,
job?
Yes, I do.
So you know how they always have those commercials where it's like, "Hey Greenie, I got a sub from Subway," and we should start doing that. That'd be great. We should write our own commercials.
It'll be great, and we'll do it all for free.
Well,
lucky those guys. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to us this week. We're going to wrap it up. If you have any comments, any suggestions for my continuing quest for mobile glory, and any input on what we talked about today, drop us a line, leave a comment. Go read Shay's. Go read your Spiegel's review.
There was a comment on the show last week that said you should try a game called Slayin'. Are you going to do that this week, or what was it called? Slayin'?
Slayin', and
Is it about
I
Santa
believe
Claus? I don't know.
No, I don't think it was spelled that way.
Oh, okay.
I believe that will be the next game that I try if I can get my hands on it. But that is all for this week. Thanks for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, and talk to you guys next week.